Hola, 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 ¿cómo están? How's everyone doing today? Today I want us to watch together the video that went viral, the Cheesecake Factory woman video that went viral. I've seen it already and I had some pretty interesting thoughts. I had some other channels that posted it and commented on it, and I commented, and as usual, my comments were not necessarily the most popular, but I make them anyway because I just a lot of times don't see things, I guess, in the way that the masses might see them, depending on what it is, right? So I said, you know what, I'm gonna make a video about this because I think it has and holds really, really important topics to bring up. I heard that it might have been a skit. I'm not sure. So after this video, she actually gives a response, like a follow-up to this video that we're about to watch. So we're gonna watch both today and do commentary on both. So I'm really, really excited. So if you want to see that through, stick around, give this video a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm as well. Comment below on your thoughts. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get it started.
He got me at the Cheesecake Factory, y'all. I ain't getting out this phone. Yes.
Would you want me to open the door for you?
Look.
Are you? You're recording me?
Yeah. This is the Cheesecake Factory. This is the Cheesecake Factory, y'all.
What's the problem with that?
This is a chain restaurant. Who takes someone that looks like this to a chain restaurant?
You want to talk about it? I'm fine with talking about it, even in front of them.
Oh, yeah, I want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Come on, get it on in the car. Yeah, we're going to talk about it. Oh, okay. So, yes, let's talk about it. About it.
So you expect a man to go all out on the first date. Is that right?
I mean, you're supposed to. When you take out a beautiful woman and you're courting her, because I get courted. So you're courting her, right? You're supposed to take care of her. You're supposed to cover her. You're supposed to protect her, cherish her, treat her well, right?
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to do.
I agree. I went into this date as I expect, with the expectations for myself, to keep you safe, you know, to respect you, to pay for your food, of course, pick you up, of course, and just treat you like a gentleman, which I believe I have done.
I mean, you've been pretty nice, but I mean,
and then
Cheesecake Factory.
I, on the other hand, have certain expectations for a girl I go out with on the first date. I expect her to be respectful too. I expect her to be cooperative, and at least, you know.
What did I do that wasn't cooperative?
Well, I mean, like, even like when we were walking to the car, you wouldn't put your hand around my arm or anything like that, or hold my hand or anything like that.
What in the world? That's disgusting. So because she doesn't want to hold your hand and you haven't even had a first date yet, she's not cooperative because she doesn't want to touch your gross body. She doesn't want you all over her. That makes her not cooperative, and that's the expectation that you had for her. So basically what this guy is saying is because you're not easy, and because I didn't get enough signs that I was gonna get laid, you're not cooperative. I mean, this guy is super gross. Like, the vibes. Ew. Like, what is going on? What did I just hear? Okay, let's keep watching.
It's too early for that.
Okay.
I don't know you.
I can respect that. I can respect that. When
I can respect that. You literally just told her you have certain expectations for people that you go out on dates with, and that's the first one that you listed. So clearly, you can't respect that. If you go in with that as your expectation, then clearly you're not respecting that at all. Like, ew, like I have the shivers where it's like men that feel entitled to women's bodies, literally. Like, do you own her body? Do you own any woman's body? Because literally, it sounds to me like you feel entitled to touching and using her body in whichever way you see fit. Otherwise, I don't see how you could possibly have that as an expectation, which is exactly what he said verbatim.
I got to your apartment to pick you up. You didn't want to invite me in. I can respect that too. Just we're not
Again, I don't.
So why are you listing that? So he's listing all of these things because he's trying to sleep with her and she doesn't want to sleep with him. And so he said at the beginning, he said, well, my expectations for someone that I get on a date are, and he started with, oh, you wouldn't hold my hand and touch me all over. And now the second thing is, oh, you wouldn't invite me in and let me come into your space, your environment where you freaking live, where I don't even know you. We haven't even been on a first date. It's like so triggering to me. It's so gross. It's so animalistic. I don't even know what to say. I'm like grossed out to the maximum degree. Ew. Like, you know, I don't think she properly vetted this guy. I don't think she properly vetted him because it's red flag after red flag. He is not it. He seems psycho and like a weirdo. And unfortunately, though, he is a fairly accurate representation of a good majority of how males think. Women, so take notes on this. This is how they think. They will not tell you outwardly, but if you read between the lines, this is how they actually think. This is what they going hoping for. This is what they going expecting. They want you to basically give them your body so they can prove that they have ownership of it, because they already feel like they own your body, your personal space. They want to come into your space without ever even going on the first date, mind you. And they've set that as an expectation for you right off the bat.
Not there
yet.
Okay. And then, but
I mean, I feel like I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do as a woman.
But
I got myself all made up.
Nothing wrong with the Cheesecake Factory, right?
Yes, there's a lot wrong with the Cheesecake Factory.
Okay, well, look at my plan.
Well, when it comes to the Cheesecake Factory, I see where she's coming from because it is a chain restaurant. So it's not like a nice, classy, fancy restaurant. It's just a regular restaurant. And what she's wanting is a nice, fancy, classy restaurant. So I see where she's coming from with that. You know, he might not think there's anything wrong with it. Other basic females or regular females that would accept that might not think there's anything wrong with it. But I get where she's coming from in that she prefers and wants to go to a nice restaurant, a more upscale restaurant, not just a regular restaurant, right? So I actually see where she's coming from. I think a lot of females came for her for that, and I don't get why. Like, it's like females and women are telling her to lower her standards because of what? Why would she lower his standards? Like, he didn't lower his expectations. He came in expecting that she would be rubbing herself all over him. He came in expecting that he would go into her apartment even before the first date. He came in expecting that he would have full access to someone else's body. He came in expecting that he owned her and her body. So I don't understand why women are telling and getting on her as if she's supposed to lower her standards for this guy. Make it make sense. I don't understand it.
We were gonna go originally.
See, now that's where we should have went. All right, right there. Call him.
No.
What do you mean no?
See, I specifically told you both yesterday and this morning that I'd come to pick you up at 4 a.m. At 4 p.m. Right? And I got to your place at 4 p.m. You didn't even come downstairs for another hour, and so I was waiting downstairs for an hour. Right?
But I wasn't expecting for work to take me so long. I got home a little late. And like I said, I don't know you well enough to invite you up into my apartment. And that is not possible.
And that's why I'm saying.
So, if he's so incredibly disturbed by her being an hour late, then why did this sicko not just cancel the date? Instead, he keeps going on and on about not being able to come into her apartment. He didn't cancel the date because he wants to sleep with her. He wants to own her body, and he expected to own it. Like they treat women as objects. He objectified her. Because otherwise, any reasonable, rational person, oh, they're an hour late to the date, you probably don't end up going on that date, right? You will probably cancel that date. Just saying. So why wait the whole hour and now you complaining? Like, it doesn't make, not computing.
I'm thinking, okay, if we're not there in a relationship to, meet at your apartment, then maybe we're not ready in a relationship for such a nice, fancy restaurant as Aria, especially if I'm paying for the whole thing, which I'm still willing to do. I would have been, but if we're late, I told you twice.
It wasn't that late.
We literally left.
I don't care. If you're late, then cancel the date, sir. Why did you not cancel the date? Who waits a whole hour for someone that's like an hour late? And then on her end, like, how did you not know that that's where you guys were going? You didn't like ask him or whatever, like, where we going? Like, I don't get that either. But mostly for him, he's just coming off as being super cringe, because it's like, if someone's an hour late, then just cancel. That's better than downgrading the date location. That's better than like, you had this fancy restaurant planned, but then you downgraded her solely to punish her. Basically, what you were trying to do was punish her for being late. That's insane. That's not healthy behavior. You're trying to punish her for being late, and you're trying to see if you can get access to her body at a cheaper price. That's basically what he did. That's what he's saying. If you read between the lines, that's what he's saying. Makes no sense to me.
Your place at the time the reservation was supposed to be. And I specifically said 4 because maybe we could get there early and even have some time to get to know each other on the way there and while we're in the parking lot. Waiting for a reservation.
We can still get to know each other. Isn't there another restaurant you can call that, equivalent to that? You don't understand. Look at me. I cannot go in the Cheesecake Factory.
There's nothing.
I will die.
Okay.
I don't know what she's... I don't know why she's like, I will die. That's funny. She doesn't want to go to the Cheesecake Factory, I guess. I guess she just feels like she looks too good to be in the Cheesecake Factory. But I don't see how she didn't properly vet this guy. If you look that good from your perspective, then you should properly vet these males. This guy is giving total creep vibes, like, completely. And the most dangerous part about this guy is he masks it very well. Like, he hides it very well to where surface level people, which is most people are surface level, will say, oh, he's so soft-spoken. Oh, he asked and said, let's have a conversation about it. So they are not able to read between the lines to see what this male truly is, to see what he's truly coming with. You know? Also, if this were me, I gotta say, I wouldn't even have a discussion about it. If I really wasn't interested in dating the guy or going on a date with him or going to the Cheesecake Factory, I probably would just make up an excuse, call myself an Uber, see ya, I'm out. There's no debating, sir. There's no debating.
Embarrassing.
Listen, as I said, I have very specific certain expectations for this.
No.
I can tell it's not gonna be there. And maybe we're not right for each other. So, respectfully, I'm gonna just drop you off at home.
Oh, no, he didn't.
Yeah, I'm up.
So, you just...
Who cares? He's like, I'm just gonna drop you off at home. I'd have been like, oh my gosh, sounds good. Sorry it didn't work out. That's it. That's all you gotta say. I can tell it's not gonna work out with us. Yeah, it's definitely not gonna work out with us because I'm not an object. I'm not an object that was placed here for your pleasure. Also, I will say, he offered to give her a ride back home, and I saw a lot of comments saying, at least he offered to give her a ride back home. At least he didn't just leave her there. That's not even a bare minimum requirement for it. That's not even a dating thing. That's just like a human thing. Why would you just leave her there because she doesn't want to go to the place that you chose or that you downgraded her to? It's like, what? So now we're gonna give credit for a human being being a human being? Like, I don't get it.
Want to call it a night? I mean, isn't there some kind of compromise or something? Ladies, can you believe this?
I'm sorry, y'all. If I don't feel respected, I'm not gonna go through with the rest of the day.
Well, I mean, you are serious.
Notice what he said, if I don't feel respected. So what do I always tell you guys in all my previous videos as well, right? There is no real thing such as love. What it is women want to feel valued. Men need to feel respected. That's the true and real equation. It's not, oh, women that say, oh, I just want to be loved. What they're actually saying is they want to feel valued. That makes it easier to compute into actionable items. Because love, there's not really any concrete there. It's not like a real thing that you can really go based off of. So what they're actually saying, what women are saying is valued. I want to feel valued. What men are saying is, I want to feel respected. And it's funny how he wants to feel respected, but doesn't respect her. He views her as an object for his pleasure. All of that creepy behavior, trying to go into her apartment, saying his expectation is that she sits there touching his arm, like, ew.
You're really leaving?
Yeah, I mean, you didn't want this place anyway, right?
I mean, I understand that I was late. I understand that. I understand that I could have been a bit more cooperative. You made some good points. That's why I'm willing to compromise. Are you sure you want to go home?
I don't have a lot of rules. I don't have a lot of expectations for a first date, but I've already set them, and you've broken every one.
Oh
So,
my God.
I'm sorry. We're dropping you off home.
All right.
The fact that she got so intimidated by this, and the fact that she felt so bad to be rejected, that she like literally said, "Oh, um, you made some good points." No, he didn't. He didn't make any good points. Like none. Then he said, "I don't have a lot of rules." Rules? Sir, what? We talking about rules. Sir, goodbye. I think it's so funny how she starts begging him at the end. It's like, what? Like, what are you begging for? You're the one that was complaining about not wanting to go to the Cheesecake Factory. If anything, you should have been the one to ask him to take you home. You know, so, it just speaks to the fact that women really we need to work on really being at the point where we value ourselves more and not just pretending like we're at the point where we value ourselves more.
Whatever. Well, I mean, I guess I understand. You gotta do what you gotta do. I understand where you're
I'm gonna stop the video there because honestly, just watching the rest just really got under my skin. So social media really has to stick so far up some of y'all's dear ears that you can't see a good man with good intentions when he's sitting and standing right in front of you.
And then we have females like this female that can't read between the lines to save their lives. A good man, he's literally objectifying her the whole time, saying his expectation was that she'd touch his arm and that he'd be able to come into her apartment. And it doesn't even make sense, it doesn't compute. Why would you wait an hour for anyone? Like, if there's a date and the person is half an hour late, cancel it. And you're that upset about it, cancel it. But he didn't want to wait because he was hoping that he would get some. That's the truth behind the facade. But then you have these types of women and people saying nonsense like, you can't see a good man. A good man when he, like, how is he a good man? What are you going to do with good? Like, if he really liked her, he definitely wouldn't have downgraded the restaurant. He would have just checked in with her, canceled, told her, okay, we were late. It was like we passed way past the reservation time. He wouldn't try to punish her by downgrading the date. That's so silly and just a roundabout way to waste time. Such a good man. Because that's what we place our inherent value at, that because as women, our inherent value should be in finding a good man. Girl, what? Girl, goodbye.
So y'all just casually living in the land of the Lulu? Honestly, I saw this video and it reminded me of this post that I saw a few years ago. The post reads, met on Hinge, the rest is history. No pressure to take her on any fancy dates or to expensive restaurants, just good old conversations and alignment with our goals. This couple posted that picture and they had to limit their comments because the internet literally went crazy. But why wouldn't he want to take her on a fancy date? Fancy dates aren't a bad thing. They are lazy and cheap and don't want to spend money on women. They want the most they can get for the least amount of money and effort. God forbid a man.
Exactly. Just nice conversation, and then he trapped her because she's thirsty and desperate. She gonna be slaving, paying more than half the bills, cleaning, giving birth like a baby birthing machine. Because there's no self-worth there. Talking about a good man. A good man. A good man would have canceled because she was an hour late. A good man wouldn't waste both of their times. A good man wouldn't look down on her so far so that he literally has to go out of his way to punish her because she was an hour late by downgrading the date and then telling her that she didn't meet his expectations because she didn't let him touch all over her body. Can we start using our brains, please?
And post me online to tell the world he got me at a discount. Just because a man isn't dropping 5 G's on you or taking you to the most expensive restaurant out there doesn't mean he doesn't love you. Look at all these people in Hollywood getting divorced.
Men can't love, ma'am. That's your first mistake. They can care about you, but they can't love you. That's your first mistake. And they'll be the first ones to tell you. Men are always in it for what they can get, period.
Of course, they got money. They got all the wealth. They got all the materialistic things. Are they happy? Look how long their relationships are lasting. Y'all focusing on the wrong things. And with that mindset, a lot of people...
How are people focusing on the wrong things? If you look at the rich people, it's a perfect example for why you don't go based off of, oh, he loves me. Because those people are rich. So a lot of times that is what they go based off of. Oh my God, he loves me so much. He's such a good guy. And look how it ends. So, ma'am, I don't know. You might need to go back and pick up a book or two and learn more about psychology, the psychology of men, psychology of women, how they're fundamentally made up, because this is not it.
Y'all are going to stay single. Y'all ignore the fact that these men have good upbringing, good intentions, good moral views, religious views. They have a good income that works for them.
That works for them. So it's all about them. So the woman has no say-so. Good income that works for them doesn't mean jack squat if they're trying to start a family. It has to be income that works for her, for him, and those kids. Not good income that works for them. Like, what are you talking about, ma'am? Good moral views. Yeah. My moral views are so good that when you didn't let me rub all up on your arm and you didn't let me come into your apartment, I decided to punish you by downgrading the date. Girl, bye. Good religious views. He didn't even talk anything about religion. How do you even know what his religious views are? It's like people like this that it's like, use your brain, please, ma'am, because you're not using it, okay?
They're financially stable, but all you focused on is the money. You don't want his heart. You want his hand.
No, don't nobody want no heart. Can't pay no bills with no heart, ma'am. Why do you think men cheat? Because you had their heart? Yeah, you focus on the money because that's what pays the bills. The number one reason and cause of divorce in the United States consistently continues to be finances. Challenges with finances. So that's where you start. This is why over 70% of all divorces is initiated by women. Finances. Men that don't love them because they can't love. And these confused women spreading this nonsense.
You want what he can financially do for you solely. This video is disgusting and repulsive and honestly a bad look for women who look like me. Get off your high...
Girl, goodbye. Your video and the crap that's coming out of your mouth is disgusting and repulsive. Goodbye.
Horse and come back down to earth because you're not as good as you think you are. We need more of this. Men who don't feel pressured to have to spend racks on a woman just to please her. Back to base.
They need to feel pressured to spend racks so they can do better. Because women are outdoing them in just about every area out here, including and exclusively and especially when it comes to finances. And that's not going to do. Because if they can't do better when it comes to money, then we don't need them for anything. I got to tell you, I got to be honest with you, lady, because you pick Misha in over there, being thirsty and desperate. If we make enough money to sustain ourselves and take care of ourselves, they are not needed. Ma'am, they are not needed. What do you need them for?
It's good old conversation, like he said. Let's talk about our goals. Let's talk about where you see.
I can talk about my goals. I can have good conversation with a friend. I don't need to be in a relationship with you and in a legally binding contract with you to talk about my goals and have good conversation with you. Bye. Go bye.
Yourself in a couple years. Let's focus on what matters. Expensive restaurants don't matter. You can do that once in a
Expensive restaurants do matter. Like, ew. She's like telling women to accept the bottom of the barrel treatment and continue to accept bottom of the barrel treatment from these males. It's driving me crazy, triggering me. Ew. So what's their use? Just to sit there and talk to you, so I can have a body just sitting there while I'm slaving, still working, having to pay half and half of the bills and pop out your babies and clean and cook? No, ma'am.
blue moon, fine, but that's not what's important. And I love the cheesecake. My husband and I go there very often. Because one thing about me, I'm going to get my Linda fudge cake. Hello, somebody.
You see what I'm saying? You go to the cheesecake very often, girl. You need to make your way to the gym and hire and increase that self-worth and that self-value and your health. Why are you going to the cheesecake very often? Because you married the wrong person. He's taking you to the cheesecake very often, that cheap restaurant, because that's what he can afford. And you don't even see how that's affecting your health. You don't even see how that's affecting your everyday operational systems. And you out here on TikTok bragging about the fact that you eat unhealthy on a regular basis. Ma'am, goodbye. So anyways, let's make our way over to the updated video from the lady that initially posted this Cheesecake Factory video.
Let me just get this.
Okay.
This is Alicia. It's been a while, but there have been quite a bit of things on my mind. I believe that many of you have seen the, now viral video about me choosing to reject the Cheesecake Factory because I wanted more from my date. I want to, let me say this. It's interesting to me that just how a moment in time, right, can shape how so many view you. And so I want to talk about, I'm trying to remember, bear with me guys, I wrote down some notes so I can remember everything I want to say. I watched the comments, the shares that you guys, the opinions that you guys had. And I have reflected on all of them, processed all of them that I was able to read. Many of you have been vocal about how entitled I was, how I misused this man. And I want you to understand that my mission has always been for women, to empower women, for women to feel respected, cared for, not be misused, or abused, right? I've seen and heard many a horror story, men and women, not just women, men and women. And I wanted to make sure that this was a topic that we brought attention to. Many of you interpreted within, interpretations that I saw. I want you to understand that this was never about exposing or embarrassing anyone. The purpose was to spark discussion, to foster.
Yeah, she brings up an important point when it comes to empowering women, because most of the backlash was coming from women, and I did not understand that. Like, why do they have such low confidence that when they see another woman who has high confidence, higher standards, they try to beat her down because of their lack of self-confidence and high standards? Why is it women that are trying to tell other women that they should lower their standards because theirs is low? It makes no sense to me, these women, what they will do and put up with just to have a male. It's like the thirst. And it was sad for me to see it too. That, like, it's like these women aren't even processing on a higher level. Listening to that video, they couldn't even read between the lines. Oh my God, he's such a nice guy. Oh, really? A nice guy wants you to rub all over him on the first date, all over his arm? That's a nice guy? A nice guy tries to come into your apartment before even taking you on the first date? That's a nice guy? A nice guy, instead of just canceling the date because she was an hour late, that's a long time, downgrades the date instead in hopes that he will still get some and simultaneously punish her. That's a nice guy? What are we talking about here? Let's get it together, people.
Learning and growth, right? But I've seen some interesting interpretations. And it has caused me some more questions. There have been some hurtful comments. People wanting to come for my job. It's interesting to me how angry someone can get about something, things that don't directly affect them, to the point where you want to be harmful, right? All while screaming respect. But because I am one who loves to discuss things, right? Who's always open to learn and grow, I've decided to sit down for an exclusive interview with Kevin Wesley. So guys, you're going to get your opportunity to talk with me and Jay a bit more. And we're just going to have a dialogue. I mean, so tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right? Tune in to Kevin Wesley's platform on YouTube and Facebook. So it will be live on YouTube.
Okay, so I guess it probably was a skip, but nonetheless, the points remain the same. I'll see if I can find that and do a separate video on that, video response on it. But what do you guys think? Hit the like button, subscribe, comment, let me know what you think. and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.